For those of you who might not be aware, South Florida Tech Hub has 4 core pillars: brand being South Florida, community, building a community within the tech ecosystem and the non-tech ecosystem, entrepreneurship, startups, and tech talent. One of our major focuses is tech talent, the lack thereof. So every year we have an event called Tech Talent Fest. We had the one for this year yesterday. Donna Serdula, who we'll be talking momentarily, was the keynote. Amazing speaker, amazing event. Really enjoyed it both personally and professionally, but we'll hear more about that. And again, Donna is the actual author of LinkedIn Profile Optimization for Dummies. I brought 2 versions here. This is my personal copy. You can see how much I've used it. It's war-torn and tattered. This is a brand new, pristine version. We 3D printed it this morning. Not really, but it is new. It is new. It's not tattered yet.
It smells new.
It does. It does actually.
It's got new car smell.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of tech talent, we had our Tech Talent Fest yesterday. We hope to have 2 next year. If we can, if we ask nicely, maybe Don will come back to both. We'll see. She gets to see all of us again as well. But I want to mention a couple of events, so just bear with me. In terms of community, we support not only the tech community, but underserved communities, which we consider to be women, Black, Hispanics, and other underserved communities. We need more women in tech. So tomorrow, Wednesday, November 20th, we're having a webinar sponsored by the Tech Hub Women's Peer Group. It's called Negotiate and Communicate with Confidence for Women. I'm sure men could use that as well, but it's intended for women. Also, in terms of community, we do networking events. We do virtual and live. So this coming Wednesday, December 18th, we're having a joint event with 2 other organizations, part of the networking and building a network of SIM South Florida. SIM is the Society of Information Management. They have a very active South Florida chapter. And then ISACA, I-S-A-C-A. I had to look up what the acronym stood for. It's a cybersecurity professional organization called the Information Systems Audit and Control Association. What a mouthful. That's why they go by ISACA. So we have an event Wednesday, December 18th called Jingle and Mingle. It's also a toy drive for the Joe DiMaggio Hospital. So come and network and have fun and bring a toy. I think that's enough for me for right now. So I'm going to let Cindy introduce herself and then let Denis introduce himself. And then they'll start with some questions from Donna. I will be calling out later today. And if you do want to call in, you will get a signed copy of LinkedIn Profile Optimizations for Dummies. So Cindy.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Excited to be here. Excited to learn more about Donna. And just a quick intro. So I am the lovely and vivacious
You are?
Cindy Metzler, and I have a marketing and public relations firm in South Florida for 25 years. I'm a New York native originally, moved here in the late 90s during the dot-com boom. Been heavily involved in the South Florida tech community for many, many years. Excited to partner with South Florida Tech Hub on this Tech Tuesday. And we have clients from Fortune 500s to entrepreneurs and authors. And I'm also a co-organizer of TEDx Boca Raton. I've been doing that for almost 10 years, working with a lot of thought leaders and sharing their ideas worth spreading on stage. And we've been using LinkedIn since 2007. So I am so excited to learn more from amazing Donna here. And I'm excited that Marcio is going to be calling in too, because we host a LinkedIn Live for the last few years in South Florida, and it's been a great ride. And Denis, what about you?
Well, I don't know if I can follow that. I'll do my best. Actually, Donna, I'm excited to have you on our podcast here. You know, we knew each other probably for the past decade.
Yeah.
Back from our Philadelphia suburbs days, before LinkedIn was a thing. You know, we used to dive in and try to make sense of it all. But, you know, I'm Denis from Media Components. I run a full-service digital marketing agency. We specialize in creating strategic campaigns for small, medium, and enterprise level businesses. We're a strategic partner for South Florida Tech Hub. And every Tuesday, I'm lucky enough to be here, co-host this interesting show here. So again, going back to Donna, it's amazing to have you here in person. I think we're all fans of LinkedIn, and we have very exciting questions. I know I do. But ladies first, Cindy, do you have anything you want to ask Donna specifically about LinkedIn, since this is a LinkedIn topic here? We have a LinkedIn guru that
I know. Super excited to have a LinkedIn guru here. Well, I just maybe some quick tips. I know you have a really great book, LinkedIn Profile Optimization, and I think a lot of people don't realize that LinkedIn is a search engine, and they don't really optimize it well because they're putting like VP of marketing, which is great, but it misses opportunities, right, when people are searching for them. So maybe you can give us some quick tips. I'm sure we're going to dive in deep and get a lot more than that, but just some quick tips about the profile page and how to optimize it so that when people are searching, they can find you.
I think a lot of people are exactly what you just said. They think of LinkedIn as a network, professional network, a social network, but it is a search engine, and recruiters are using it. But other people, executives, entrepreneurs are using it, and they want to find service providers, they want to find employees, they want to find partnerships. So you really do want to sit down and say to yourself, before you even do anything, what's my goal? Why am I on LinkedIn? What am I trying to accomplish? What is the bigger goal here? And then you also want to say to yourself, what do I want to be found for? Like if someone wanted to find me and they didn't know my name, what would be those keywords that they would be searching for? And once you can get to that point, then you want to make sure that you're using those words throughout the profile. And you want to think in terms of the headline, you want to think in terms of the about section, you want to think in terms of the job descriptions. But the more you use it organically, naturally, the more apt you're going to pop up in search, and opportunity will just collide with you. And that's what we all want, right? We want it to just fall into our laps.
That's great. And tell us about your background. Introduce yourself, Donna. Excited to have you here. So I know we're diving in, but we would love to get an overview.
Sure. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And Jeffrey, thank you for this great invitation and to have been able to present the keynote yesterday.
I'm not worthy.
It was fabulous.
And for anybody that doesn't get that reference, call me on Owwll. I'll explain it.
I get it, Jeffrey.
I know you do. Dennis is old enough.
No, I get it too.
Okay, Steph's not old enough. She has no idea what I just did. Sorry.
Well, old school. I joined LinkedIn back in 2005. So, not one of the earliest.
When was it launched? If we're going
2003.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like 2002 is when they really put it together. And then early 2003, like March, is when they launched. So I wasn't exactly the earliest, but I was certainly one of the earlier adopters of it. And I thought it was useless. I thought it was a waste of time in the very beginning.
MySpace was so much better.
It was, because you got all that great CSS in the,
Right.
in the profile, like blinking text, scrolling text. No, but I was in corporate. And so I think because of that, and then when I went off on my own, and even before that, when I was in sales, it all did come together rather quickly for me. I saw LinkedIn as this chance, to brand yourself, to tell your story, to introduce yourself. And I realized it wasn't just a resume. A resume is, it's your detailed history, whereas, that LinkedIn profile was something different. And I really did. Once I realized that it wasn't useless and it wasn't a waste of time, I really embraced it. And it was in 2009 that I started the business. I started Vision Board Media and LinkedInMakeover.com. And
love the name, by the way.
Which one? Vision Board Media or LinkedIn Makeover?
Well, Vision Board Media is awesome, and LinkedIn Makeover is great too. Yeah.
I love Vision Board Media too. It was funny because I had hired so I had started the business not with Vision Board Media. I had called it. I was such a small thinker. I was not a big dreamer back then, and I named the company. It's a horrible name, Donna Tech Designs.
Ugh.
And it was just me. It was just me. That's when Dennis and I knew each other. It was Donna Tech Designs back then. And I never really thought that it was going to, explode and expand. And so when it started to, and I realized I have other people on my team. I can't just be Donna Tech Designs. I hired a coach to help me, really think this through. And he said to me, I have a great name for this company. It should be Golden Lizard Marketing. And I said, Golden Lizard Marketing? Like, where did this come from? And he said, I just could see you walking into a networking, networking group, a networking event with like a big cape, and on the cape, this big golden lizard pin.
Well, in Florida, you would actually hold an iguana.
There you go.
Right, there you
It would be golden,
Yeah.
golden iguana and Boca.
Yeah.
But
Glad you went with Vision Board Media.
Yes.
but here's the thing, right? It's that didn't mean anything. It didn't symbolize anything. It didn't have my story. But it was great because I was able to look at it and just laugh. And then I was looking at my vision board and I was thinking, wait, Vision Board Media, because we help our clients move towards their vision. We help them transform into the future of where they want to go. And we are a board of directors, really helping our clients. And so it was a really good thing to get such a silly name because it helped me gain the clarity that I needed. So
Awesome. Love it.
Why don't you, you mentioned two separate entities. Why don't you explain, because I know they have slightly different focuses. Why don't you talk about the specific focus of LinkedInMakeover.com, the specific focus of Vision Board Media, and the third organization company that you founded as well?
Yeah. So it started, oddly enough, with LinkedIn Makeover. And that's just our brand. That's the brand where we are writing LinkedIn profiles. We're really helping people embrace that platform and brand themselves, and not just use it as an obituary, but really as a future forward way of getting noticed, of colliding with opportunity, of reaching that pinnacle of where they want to go. And we're doing this through branding. Vision Board Media is where we take that extra step and we say, all right, this is where we're going to look beyond just the profile. And we're going to look at all of the different assets that make up a person's personal brand. And that's where we're helping executives and we're helping companies when they say, we're having trouble recruiting good talent. If you want to recruit a rock star, they need to know that there's other rock stars in the company. And so to work with them and to help them build that brand on LinkedIn, it becomes a game changer because you do start to attract even better opportunities when you stop just using your own profile, but you start to use all of your employees' profiles as well. But it was around 2017. I was talking with Dion Carrick, who's our general manager of operations, and she said to me, she said, if executives are really struggling to tell their story and own their message and put themselves out there in a way that attracts opportunities, what chance do students have? And at that point, we decided to start Ready Set You, and it's sort of our arm to really help the students, those who are just they're up and coming young professionals, and they need a different type of assistance, and so we're there for them as well.
And we featured Donna and her partner Dion yesterday at the Tech Talent Fest for Ready Set You. They focus. It'd be fair to say you focus on the higher ed market,
Yes.
student market with Ready Set You. LinkedInMakeover.com, more B2C.
Mhm.
Vision Board Media, more B2B. Would
Yes.
you agree with those?
I think that's a very fair assessment, Jeffrey. Yes, thank you.
Donna is a LinkedIn conglomerate, and she
That's
covers
right.
all the areas.
Are you getting paid by LinkedIn to go on tour?
Are you going on the road?
Yeah, are you?
I wish. No, I have no partnership with LinkedIn. Although I did go to, I went both to their headquarters in Sunnyvale, and I've been to their offices in New York City.
That was like a Disney World for you, right?
Oh, It's a Disney World for their employees.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious! In Sunnyvale, their cafeteria. I mean, they had chefs making free food. And it was really funny. I was getting a tour, and the woman who was giving me the tour said, "Oh, I really want to. I want to show you this conference room. This conference room is amazing. You have to come in." She opens up the door, and I hear music. I hear this like this singing, and she said, "Oh, Donna, I'm sorry, we can't go in there today. Our Glee Club is performing."
Wow.
I was like, "Oh wow,
Amazing.
That's
So
insane."
Donna, I know you mentioned branding. So is that like one of the most important parts before you dive into LinkedIn, is to establish like a strategic brand
Yeah.
plan, the branding marketing plan? And, I've been kind of digging into LinkedIn the last couple of years and really branding like my personal brand,
Mhm.
and, been successful in attracting potential inbound marketing leads. So what would you say, what's the best way for somebody listening and they're starting to utilize LinkedIn for whether it's a career path or personal branding? What's the best way to jump in? What feature of LinkedIn should they focus on? I know for myself, I've been utilizing newsletter option,
Mm.
because that once you publish a newsletter, it goes into the inbox as an email. It's a great content piece. What would you recommend as far as one of the LinkedIn features then somebody can focus to get started for personal branding?
Yeah, I think the very first thing is the foundational aspect, which is the profile. And people always seem to forget that, if they have that newsletter, or if they are posting, or they're, even they're just active on LinkedIn, people want to know more about you. They want to know, who is this person that they're reading about, or they're, watching. Well, they're going to visit that LinkedIn profile, and it needs to tell your story, and it needs to have that value proposition. It should not be a copy and paste of some other material that generated. It needs to be standalone for that LinkedIn platform, and it should tell your story, and it should tell it for that target audience. Like, what do they need to know about you? How can you make it very clear? How can it even be exciting and warm and conversational? So I would say the profile, initially, that's where you really do want to concentrate and focus on telling a good story, the right story. And then once you have that, you're always going to want to keep revisiting it, because it doesn't ever, it doesn't expire exactly, but it's something that can get stale. It can, get dated. So you want to keep updating it.
So the first impression, which is the profile optimization, right?
Yeah, it's that profile. Got to do that. Then once you have that, then you can start to, get onto the feed. Start posting. And for a lot of people, though, Dennis, and this, it's easy for us, but it's not easy for everybody. And so you can actually still have a lot of success on LinkedIn without, posting every day, or posting every minute. I mean, you can go on there and just join in on the conversations. You can find a lot of success just commenting on other people's posts.
One thing we often talk about on the show, because it's such a prevalent topic, is AI. I follow Donna on LinkedIn. I read everything she posts. But you also recently announced a new feature that you're actually. So let me back up. Donna has a lot of great free content. Anyone listening should go and leverage her free content. I leveraged it. It's great. But Donna also has some billable or premium type content. She just announced a new thing, an AI-based tool called Instant Profile. Why don't you talk a little about that? How someone would obtain that, some of the features of it, how much it costs?
Yeah. So Instant Profile is our entree into the AI realm of content generation. But I'd always had it. But it was a DIY type of kit, and I would explain to people, this is how you tell your story. This is how you want to format it. But it was still something that people struggled with. It's hard to write about yourself, and now that we have AI, it's made it so much easier. It's still hard. But with Instant Profile, what I'm doing is I've embedded these engines, and you just go in and you answer questions. I talk to you about strategy. I talk to you about things to think about. So there's videos, but it's a lot of education. But when we get down to the point, I ask very specific questions. You answer those questions, you hit the button, and with the prompts that I've already created, it then takes all of this together and it spits out something that's really, I think, very impressive. And it feels, it's done to be very conversational. I want it to sound authentic. And it's something that, it's very then easy to copy and paste right directly into your profile, and you're off and running.
And how would someone obtain that? And what's the current fee for that?
Yeah, so it's on LinkedIn-makeover.com. It's under the LinkedIn profile services, and it's $50.
$49.99. Come on, Donna. $49.99.
Just under. Well, I wanted, not everyone can work with us. And I wanted to provide something that, anyone, like, there's no excuse to now really get deliberate with your brand, with your messaging, to make sure that your LinkedIn experience is a successful one.
So somebody optimizes their profile, and how often do you recommend somebody should be consistently updating, the post, the content? What's a good kind of formula from your experience somebody should be posting on LinkedIn?
Yeah, it differs. It differs depending upon who you are and where you are in your business, in your life, and it depends. But, for just someone who says, look, I want to be seen. I want to do this for myself. And I want to be remembered. If you can do it once a week, just post once a week. And then if you can, dive in and comment on some posts throughout the week, you're golden. That's fabulous. Now, certainly if you have time, if you can do it more than that, if you could do it once a day, or even, 3 times a week, that's even better. But it's just not possible for most people. Even with AI, it's not possible. And I don't want anyone to think that if I don't have the topics, or I don't have the inclination, or if I don't have the time, that it's best not to do anything. Well, once a week, I think anyone can post once a week.
I have a couple questions. I have a lot. I keep thinking of questions and then I forget.
No more questions.
Forget about them. Okay, so the first question, which maybe you can answer last, is I have 2 teenagers. So you have the company that you said is for
Students. Yeah,
what is it?
You.
Ready, Set, You. So I'd love to get some, just quick takeaways for what Ready, Set, You and how that program works. And then the other thing I'd love for you to speak to is, again, just using LinkedIn for many, many years, I think people don't really understand the community, even though it's a global platform. Some people say, oh, well, I am local, so I don't really think I need to be on LinkedIn. And I think just the opposite. I've met, there's communities, and also it does break down the global barriers as well. LinkedIn is such an incredible community. So maybe speak to that. And then also business intelligence, because commenting on things, you're getting information that you wouldn't be able to get elsewhere. People are posting about what they're doing in their industries. And I know, because we manage some accounts for clients, when you see things, it helps you make decisions for them and give them business intelligence that you normally wouldn't have. So,
well, the business intelligence piece, it goes back to what you were saying, which is it's a search engine, right? And I think a lot of people forget that, if you are targeting a company, go to the company page on LinkedIn, and you can easily click on the people tab and see who works there. I mean, you can even go in and say who used to work there. Right. I mean, if you're a job seeker, Jeffrey, right? We've talked about this so many times. If you're looking at a job posting, it's very easy to go in there and see who would that hiring manager be? Who would I be sitting alongside? Who manages that department? Right. These are things that we never had. But you have to think of LinkedIn, like you had said earlier, and I loved it. It is a search engine. But in terms of Ready, Set, You, for students, we have a career launchpad. And, if you really think about it, that very first job out of college can really change a student's trajectory, right? We want you to land. We want you to land in a really good place, because that's going to change. That's going to change the type of salary. It's going to change, your opportunities. So how can we really help them? And the answer isn't just, or here's a LinkedIn profile, or here's a resume. It's really about looking at the bigger picture, and also providing career coaching, right? And understanding here are the steps that you need to be doing. And it's also helping parents, because even though now, I mean, at one time, you'd get a job and you'd work there for, hopefully 25 years, right? 30 years. That doesn't fly anymore. I mean, people are, 7 years, 5 years, 3 years sometimes. So people are looking more often now than they ever did before. And yet at the same time, most parents who have, students who are going to be graduating, either from high school or from college, they don't even know how to help their students. They don't even know what it looks like to look. And so we're there for them as well.
Don, I'm sure people are going to want to follow up with you. So obviously you can follow up on LinkedIn. It's Serdula. I think there's only one Don. I know there's only one Donna Serdula in the world, maybe more on LinkedIn. But have you had a chance to decide, are you going to have office hours on Owwll or set up specific times? Because I'm sure you don't want to make yourself available on Owwll as well.
Oh, absolutely. It's a great platform. And my plan is lunchtime. I'm going to be turning that on.
Okay. So all of you out there want to follow up with.
Imagine having access to Donna. Seriously, that's amazing.
There you go.
Ask all the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Donna, I know over the years, LinkedIn has launched some features, sunlighted some features. Anything that from the insider should we be looking forward to? Maybe a new state-of-the-art feature that LinkedIn might be launching that they're in beta test right now. Maybe you've seen something on the horizon that we should look forward to?
I will say this. They are doing so much more with video. I think that's the big thing coming up, is more and more of that vertical video and that video feed on the mobile app. That's at least where I think they're going to be putting a lot more focus, which I wish they did that back when I was in my 30s. But here it is.
You're not 29, Donna?
No.
Hello, Owwll.
Hey, Brian.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi,
sorry to interrupt.
Brian.
Hey, everybody. How's everyone doing?
Hello. Great.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Brian. So I announced a new feature a couple of weeks ago. Check in with a previous guest host. We needed a better name than that. So Brian was on a couple of weeks ago. Great episode. So Brian, why don't you introduce who you are? And I happen to know Brian personally, so he's got some breaking news we're going to share first time on Tech Tuesdays. So it's all yours, Brian.
What an intro, Jeffrey. Thank you. And Donna, great to meet you. Really great listening to you and excited to talk to you. So, I've been a serial entrepreneur my whole life. Entrepreneur is an overused term, of course.
Brian, I don't mean to interrupt. You're a little loud. You want to maybe back away a little from the mic, the phone?
How's that?
Yeah, it's better. Sorry. Go
All
ahead.
right, cool. I got excited. I was, animated here. I've been working in tech since 2007. I was in the ad tech and martech space for many years, worked with a couple of startups that went on to successful acquisitions, always in sales, business development, and team management coaching. Always referred to myself more as a player coach, because I believe real managers are actually more coaches than managers. You got to put a team in place that you trust, and so coach them, help them. But since 2014, I've been in the custom software development space, and working across multiple industries. I love every day is a different conversation, listening to businesses and their challenges. But I also facilitate go-to-market strategies and sales and business development courses at the Alan Levon Center of Innovation. And tying in very nicely with what you talk about, Donna, is I talk about teaching these entrepreneurs and these business founders the concept of dare to be different. And how do you stand out amongst everybody else? And if you're doing the same things that everybody else is doing, whether it's the same verbiage on your LinkedIn profile or using third-party lead generation companies that send the same messaging and doing the same thing, how do you expect yourself to stand out from anybody else? And how do you really expect to differentiate yourself? So I love listening to you talk about the need to tell your story on LinkedIn, knowing your audience and making your introduction conversational, because that really introduces yourself and makes you a real person as opposed to just another person on the platform.
Yeah.
So, Brian, what's your breaking news?
End question,
Yeah,
right?
so $1 million question. As of today, I had started today as managing director of a American-based, US-based custom software development company.
Congrats.
Um,
Woo woo.
Can you say who it
Thank you
is?
very much.
Or is it has to be anonymous?
Yes, the company. Yeah, no, the company is called Scalers, Scalors. There's a sister company that's based out of Germany, and we all know German engineering. There's, nothing quite like it in the world. And now we are in the process of setting up a separate U.S. entity with an American focus, but still an international flair, and being able to combine onshore and offshore resources to really focus on American market needs and what American companies are doing, but being able to have offshore resources to be able to have a nice hybrid approach in terms of affordability, subject matter expertise, from artificial intelligence to cybersecurity, cloud transformations. And so I'm really, really excited. There are a lot of custom software development companies out there that operate off of a European mentality, trying to take that European mentality and bring it to the US, and very few companies that are US centric and understand what the needs are in the marketplace here and the competition here, and go to market strategies and really how to differentiate and how to be more of a partner than a third party vendor. And that's a big part of what I was looking for, and what I'm really excited about with this company is to be able to really help and partner with organizations that are struggling with their software development or pivoting into new areas like artificial intelligence or cloud transformations, or looking to really differentiate their organizations and have a true tech partner who knows the emerging technologies and can build your solutions both for your needs now and your needs down the road. What's going to be in 3 years is going to be very different than what it is today, from artificial intelligence to God knows what else is going to emerge from this. So it's a very exciting time. And as opposed to just trying to find cheap offshore resources that you get what you pay for, here we're really trying to become your partner in all things technology. Like I said, from artificial intelligence to cybersecurity to just basically to build a real solid mobile or web-based application that somebody can know that's going to work from day one.
So, Brian,
quality over quantity.
I want to shift gears a little. So thank you for the update. Brian is also very active in South Florida Tech Hub. South Florida Tech Hub is generally vertical agnostic, but the one area we do focus on is health tech, med tech, and life sciences. And Brian is co-chair of the health tech peer group. Why don't you talk a little about your work there, Brian?
Sure. So now this is a fantastic group. As we all know, South Florida has changed tremendously from COVID. And we've seen an explosion in the number of health tech startups that have created foundations here in South Florida. And very interesting companies trying to solve niche challenges in the healthcare industry, whether it's access to clinical trials, whether it's medication adherence, whether it's virtual nursing, age tech. Those are a few of the companies that are involved with the health tech peer group. But as an organization, we're focused on helping one another with everything from tech founders to clinicians to hospital administrators, and all coming together as a group to both understand and accelerate the innovation, because it's only through collaboration that we can drive innovation, and it's only through innovation that we can really improve the patient experience. And I believe that most of the people that are involved in the health tech peer group are here for the right reasons, to really improve access to healthcare and quality access to healthcare. And it's only through networking that we can really help one another, whether it's making a connection, oh, you should talk to this person, or, oh, we've done something similar and this is how it came out. But it's really only through working together and shared experiences that we can accelerate how we can improve the healthcare industry as a whole. And so, we try to meet once a month. We're alternating between virtual meetings 1 month and then in-person meetings 1 month, and covering all kinds of topics across the spectrum. A few weeks ago, we had
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
what's that?
No, I was just
I
going
was
to
just
say
gonna say-
that's really cool.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, we had an amazing panel, a webinar-based panel about AI in medical research and how AI is transforming the healthcare space, with a few different speakers who brought different perspectives to the conversation. And so, that those different perspectives and then networking is really what it's all about, and what the healthcare peer group
Sorry, Brian,
is really focused on.
running out
So-
of time.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, with the networking aspect, maybe we can bring Donna in about how to utilize that on LinkedIn, because that's a huge opportunity there,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Do you guys have a group on LinkedIn? I'm just curious.
I'll answer that. No. So within South Florida Tech Hub, we have a thing called peer groups
Mhm.
that are little one level deeper focused, but we don't actually. That's a great idea, Brian. Why don't we have a health tech peer
Yes,
group on
there
LinkedIn?
you go.
Sorry, we should have one.
Donna can help spearhead
Yeah,
that.
So we need to have that. Brian will
would be
create
awesome.
that. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, Brian, you have 40 seconds, but do you have a question for Donna while you're here?
Yeah, just real quick, Donna, when it comes to, I see so many people trying to do lead generation on LinkedIn, and everybody does the same thing. What would you tell somebody who's trying to, do their lead generation through LinkedIn, how to make it work and stand out?
Yeah, I'd say stop with the pitch slaps. But I think there is definitely a place for selling and business development on LinkedIn. Absolutely, there is. But at the same time, I think people do jump in a little too quickly, and they immediately think, oh, the first thing I want to do is sell, whereas really it should be building a relationship and helping and adding value and being part of that community. And then I think at that point it's a little easier, and it's far less obnoxious to then move into more of a sales mode.
No, I agree, Donna. I get like maybe 10 to 15 inboxes like, hey, do you want 10 more leads today? And it's usually like South Asian countries. But, you mentioned creating a LinkedIn group for organizations. Can you kind of elaborate a little bit about it? I know it's a great way to build relationships, build a community. How else can somebody that's looking for leads can utilize LinkedIn groups to kind of brand themselves, but also in return generate leads?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's first say, in terms of LinkedIn groups, they have not been very active of late, but these still are there. They're still there, and in some ways, just like the gentleman on the phone said, dare to be different. Maybe it is time to start to look back, at the LinkedIn groups, because people aren't using them like they used to. So it might be a good time to get back into that. With a LinkedIn group, what would be fabulous is, it is a way of bringing people together. And for a long time, it seemed what had killed the group was the hashtag. But at least LinkedIn is not leaning into hashtags like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like Facebook groups are evolving more compared to LinkedIn
Yeah.
groups, even though Facebook people don't like to get too professional. It's more like personal.
Mhm.
But in my industry, like agency, a lot of agency owners go to Facebook groups specifically to build a mastermind, build a community. Facebook just makes it much easier to interact and share content, share ideas. And I agree with you. LinkedIn groups are kind of getting the back burner
Yeah.
at this point.
And they have been for a long time, but they still have a product manager who handles it. So maybe we're talking like, what is the future? Right now, it's only a guess, but I would love to see LinkedIn put some focus back into the
On the
groups.
community building.
Yeah, because it is like little mini focus groups,
Yeah.
which is great. So I see a value there for the groups too. And I also think, even though Facebook has great groups. There's a lot of hurdles with Facebook too, just as an agency person as well. A lot of hurdles, a lot more, I think, than LinkedIn.
Well, at one time, people were on Facebook. Their
Mhm.
family and their friends
Right.
were on there, and I do think people have been pulling back. There's a
Mhm.
lot more sponsored content. It's not as personalized as it used to be.
And suppress content too. If you're not a paid advertiser, you don't get your content out as much. It just made me think of something because we have clients that use Instagram, and let's say it's a fashion company or something that's eye candy, real estate, something really pretty. Not to say that you can't use Instagram if you don't have that, but I always encourage them to get on LinkedIn, and it's a mindset thing. They don't really understand the value. So maybe you could share a little bit like how you would just coach someone into shifting that mindset.
I with LinkedIn, it is a professional network. It is a professional network, but at the same time, people are scrolling through that feed, and especially for someone doing fashion, I mean that there's visuals there. There's something interesting. I think people often think, oh, LinkedIn is more. It's not fun. It's not, but it is.
I think they also think it's older too, and there's a lot more Gen Zs on, and because this is part of your business. But yeah, I think
And I
there's
think
a
that's
huge.
why they're launching the video features, because they want to compete with Instagram Reels and
TikTok,
Snapchat and
Mhm,
Facebook. So
mhm.
video content is definitely trending, and I think LinkedIn is focusing more on that.
Yeah, and we've already seen how the LinkedIn feed has gone from being very text-based to so much more, graphical. I mean, there's so many images now. I mean, if you want to post something, it's best not to do just a text post, but incorporate an image. So, especially for what you were talking about, it is a place for these companies that maybe were leaning more towards Instagram. You can take that content and integrate it into a LinkedIn strategy.
I agree. I think it's so smart. It really is. And it's also just I think it's been around for a long time, but it's also the tip of the iceberg. I mean, people are just really exploding on LinkedIn, and I feel like it is an area where you can build community and learn about people and become, I have so many real life relationships from, that I met on LinkedIn 10 years ago, and now we're, and they're all over the globe actually.
I mean, you can even empower your employees
Mhm.
through their own
Oh,
brand.
look who's here. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Marcio, you there?
Technical difficulties.
Uh-oh.
Marcio?
So we are live. Um,
That's okay.
Marcio, okay. If you're not there, I'm gonna give you my opinion on why video is surging on LinkedIn. So AI is important. It's a critical new tool, but we've also talked about the need to be genuine and to be real. Human beings are social creatures, good, bad, or indifferent. Assuming the video is not AI generated, which there is, I think people want to see other human beings and see them talk and mess up and be human and state their opinion and to just see another person there. So to me, that's one of the reasons why video is surging. And it's interesting. I posted something in my feed that I had seen from someone that had done a survey. The last 3 months, video has really gotten very, very popular. So to me, part of it is people want to be genuine. They want to see other live human beings.
I agree. And there's a lot of, in some ways, AI has really helped some people become even more just expressive and able to create really great content. But on the flip side, it's also allowed for some really poor, boring content. And I think what you're saying it is absolutely correct. As you go through that feed, there's some great stuff, but there's a lot of just boring
Whenever you see a
content.
post with emojis, you just like scroll through, right?
It is. It's there is a lack of humanity in some of those posts. So, as soon as a person and you wonder, is this authentic? Is this genuine? Is this really from that person, or did they just hit generate? And I think to Jeffrey, to your point, you can't really, it's far harder to fake it with video than it is with
Correct.
text-based posts.
On that same point, to me, sometimes when I read something, if it's too perfect, if it's too good, I knew AI wrote it, because human beings typically aren't that good.
Mhm.
And perfection is great, but humans aren't perfect. We're imperfect. So sometimes that's the other thing as well.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you don't have to be perfect to do a video. And I think sometimes those imperfect videos actually come across even better than the polished. Sorry, Dennis. No, but if it's a commercial versus
Correct.
a authentic message from someone, I think that's
Correct.
just going to resonate a lot more. And I actually am going to share an example with TEDx. We get hundreds of applications every year, and some people, we ask people to include a video. Not everybody does, but I can't tell you how many times the video has been the deal sealer, and because it's so compelling. And sometimes it's, the written word is great, but sometimes it doesn't come across. And then when you see the video, it's like, oh my gosh, I want this person to share their idea or story, or I want to be connected to this person. Similarly, on LinkedIn, and we've curated TEDx speakers from LinkedIn, people that we followed and
Cindy,
get to know.
how can someone submit an application to be on TEDx, which is a visual event, and not submit a video?
I know.
Really?
You would be surprised. You would be surprised.
Okay.
People sometimes they're just, afraid, or they don't think they need to do it, or skipping a step, or well, it is optional, but at the same time, it's crazy not to do it. Right?
I mean, if you select them, they're going to present live, right?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, but I also think sometimes the it's not just, everybody, even if 60% of the people are submitting videos, sometimes that video is what really seals the deal, because it's more compelling than the written word.
Exactly.
So
I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Sorry.
yeah. No, that's it.
So this Tech Tuesdays is an example of imperfection. We're all human. We're not AI bots. By the way, I'm required by the state of Florida to state none of us on this show are AI bots. Although I'm not too sure about Denis. We are live human beings. You want to try Marcio again? Okay. Chella.
Nice.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Chella.
Hi, Chella.
Oh, Cindy.
How are you?
Marvelous, marvelous. Do we still have Donna on?
Yes, we
Yes.
have amazing Donna here.
Okay,
am
so I've
here.
been watching.
By
I've
the
been watching.
By the way, Chella, I don't mean to interrupt. I forgot to mention in my intro, again, by the state of Florida, I'm empowered by Governor DeSantis to bestow a title on Donna as Queen of all LinkedIn.
Oh,
I
So-
love it.
Henceforth,
Woot woot.
henceforth and forevermore, she shall be known as, by the power invested in me,
I
the
thought you
Queen
were
of
going to
all
knight
LinkedIn.
me Serdula.
Ooh, she's good. She's good. I like it. I'm sorry, Chella, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's all right. Can you do the same thing and just put me as the pricing queen?
You'll be the queen.
I
Excuse
love
me, you'll be
that.
the princess.
The owl and pricing queen. How
There you
about
go.
that?
Oh, well, that works too.
All
Sorry,
right,
Chella, go ahead.
Donna, can you guide us again through where we can go? I'm ready. I already went to your profile. I'm ready. I have my credit card ready. I'm ready to purchase. Had to set up the profile. I just couldn't find it.
Oh. So visit linkedin-makeover.com.
Okay.
And then once you're there,
We'll
Oh,
try this
right
live.
behind me.
There we go.
And then in
Jeffrey, I think
Great URLs, by the way.
I think we need to make it easy for peeps. I want to get a commission out of every sale that we make from this.
We'll call Donna on Owwll and have that
Yeah,
conversation
we'll have
with
that
her.
conversation. Actually, if you go to the very top and you click on the hamburger menu on the left there, and then click on the services, click on the arrow on the services. Oh, I'm sorry, you're supposed to expand it.
I was there, Donna, and I love that we're doing this live.
Mhm. There we
because-
go. There we go. And then expand the profile and resume services. Clearly, we have an issue here that I will correct.
Donna, some free
Too many
advice.
steps.
Put a
There it
link on the
is.
main page.
There it
A
is.
pop-up. Bye
Yeah.
now.
Here's this, as seen on Tech Tuesdays.
Yes.
Well, you know,
Click here.
actually, I do have a link. It does have its own website. It's instantprofile.io. So that's the other way.
One word or two words? Instant profile.
Instantprofile.io.
IO.
That's
Okay.
that's another way of getting to it. But
Okay, I like
There
that
it
better
is.
because it's easier. Because I already got myself lost. And listen, I'm telling you, I had my little credit card ready.
well,
Wonderful. I can't imagine anyone not taking advantage of that opportunity. Honestly, to get all of that for $50, I mean,
$49.99.
We like 50
We're
better,
rounding up.
Jeffrey.
We're rounding up.
50.
We like 50. 50 tells me there's value. Nothing wrong with the $49.95. There's a whole psychology
Yeah, I
behind
know.
that.
Yeah, good
Well,
point.
the other
Good
cool
point.
thing is I can see Chella because I know what you do. I mean, you have a community and, financial literacy and you're coaching women entrepreneurs. This could be a really great tool for them.
Absolutely. And that's not something I cover. So I do have, Donna, I believe in collaboration. So because of Owwll, and after having 500 conversations here on Owwll,
Mhm.
they weren't kidding when they said I'm Owwll famous.
The queen of Owwll.
I created an online LinkedIn course
Mhm.
for entrepreneurs that don't know how to get started on LinkedIn.
and there is a need for that. Absolutely.
Right. I don't cover profile. So this is why I wanted to jump on yours. So then after I test it, then I can say, you got to go here.
And absolutely. And then we will talk about a commission.
Referral fee. Do it now live. We're transparent.
Well, obviously she's open to it. I think that's awesome. Yeah. Win,
This
win,
is where the
win.
magic happens.
Well,
Win,
actually,
win, win.
actually, Don and I were talking about this. Having been in the IT space a long time, very, very common for referral fees, finders fee. It happens all the time. Don is very open to a referral and finder's fee. So you'd be a perfect person for that. I'll let her decide what the percentage should be, but go forth and sell.
And go
Thank
for
you.
it.
Well, also it's a great tool to help people. So, it really is a win-win and it's a valuable tool for Chella's audience and your community. So I think it's something that can help everyone and she can get a little icing on the cake. Why not?
So actually,
Amen. And
I'm sorry,
Go
go ahead,
ahead,
Chella. Nope, go ahead.
well, no, what I was going to say, Donna, is that one of the things that I do on the side and my passion is I host financial literacy workshops for high school and college students.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
And I normally talk about baking while I teach.
Mhm.
Because, the ingredients, so I have this whole thing that I do, but I was recently encouraged to talk about LinkedIn as I'm talking about the baking and the financial literacy, because I also cover like common sense and how do you prepare for a test, or, what do you do with some nervous energy when you're getting ready to ask a girl out, or so it's not just financial, it's like financial literacy / life skills.
Yeah.
And so I was recently encouraged to talk about LinkedIn because a lot of these kids don't know LinkedIn.
Yeah. Or they've been told to, get on it, but that's where it starts and ends. It's get on it. But
Correct.
what
So-
do you do with it?
So Chella, did you hear the earlier part where Donna talked about Ready, Set, You? That's a
Yes.
that's a perfect fit for high school and college students.
Yes. That's why I was listening. I was listening to the whole time. I was taking notes. And then I went to my phone to look for that. I was like, where is it? And then you called me. So talk about perfect timing.
Surprise, right?
I was going to call you, Donna, when you were available, because I just think this could really, really make a huge difference for my community, for my crowd. And I normally do attend, or I go to a couple of different high schools. So
Yeah.
having this being able to share this on top of everything else could really be impactful for them.
And Chella, I mean, just consider, you're really setting them up for career success,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yes.
such an important thing.
Chella,
Agreed.
don't you have your own podcast as well?
I don't have my own podcast.
Okay.
I did. We're taking a little break. That was a lot of work, and so it is. So I'm
Shout out to Owwll for hosting us here, right? And Steph right there.
So
I'm gonna have to come out to record my first episode all the way out there in
well, I was just going
Florida.
to I was going to suggest when you start that back up, Donna is your first new guest.
Oh, look at you! Can you see how Jeffrey just loves to make connections? No, you do. You're good at it.
He's a connector.
Thank
He
you,
is.
Chella.
So is Chella getting?
He is.
If Nikki Caboose is listening, my boss, right from Chella, or my
Wait,
real
did-
boss, my wife. How many years, Cindy?
That's a good
38.
Thank you. We got to
It's
go on the road.
impressive. It's impressive.
Thank you.
I'm at 23, so when I hear 38, I'm like,
Thank you.
wow.
Well, there are
Wow.
days I wish I wasn't married, but that's another show.
That's the road of marriage. Let's be honest.
It's like being in business
Yeah.
and building a relationship
And a roller coaster, ups and downs.
with
It's a
your
beautiful
customers.
thing.
There are days they probably wish you weren't their vendor, and there are days you wish you had other customers.
Speaking of that, Donna, anybody using LinkedIn for dating? A
Oh,
dating app?
Yes, they are.
It's a good way to scout professionals.
if you think about it, you're right. What a great audience, and a high net worth audience.
Mhm, mhm.
It does happen. It does happen. In fact, I do recall I had a few times journalists had reached out to me to talk about, do I know of anyone who met their significant other on the platform?
Mhm.
And there are a few people out there who did.
Oh yeah, they've done stories about it. I've seen. But I also think that I know a couple of LinkedIn influencers, attractive women, and I do think people just pitch them for things other
Cindy,
than work, right?
I don't mean to interrupt. Chella, we've got about 25 seconds. Any parting thoughts?
I get a marriage proposal on LinkedIn once a year.
I love it.
Only one?
Only one. I know. That's the only one. But
All right,
once a
Chella.
year I get a-
Thank you.
guys.
Take care,
Take the call.
Chella.
Chella
Great hearing
rocks.
from you.
Thank you.
Quickly, and this is a good point. Why don't you spell out real quickly the different URLs, because sometimes it doesn't come across if people want to follow up with you.
Sure, it's LinkedIn dash or hyphen or minus. There's a number of different ways you can say that. LinkedIn-makeover.com. We also have readysetyou.com. And then there's visionboardmedia.com.
Is Ready Set You all one word?
Yep.
And Vision Board is one word.
It's one word.
No hyphens or minuses.
No, only with link. Well, I mean, even if you did LinkedIn Makeover without a dash, you'd still get to us.
Okay.
So what's your next stop on the tour, Donna? Where you go next?
I'm going to actually see my client, Michael Mazzeri. I'm looking forward to seeing him in person. It's always been virtual before, so it's going to be great to talk to him. And then I'm going home to Philadelphia. Denis and everybody wishes you well. They're back home.
I'll be back. I'm there a couple times a year, and I can't wait to come back to Florida when I'm there. But it's always has a place in my heart. So it's good to see you in person, and thanks for being here.
So this is the part of the show I hate. I could go on for another couple hours, even if nobody was here. So why don't we kind of wrap up? Why don't we go around the room, so to speak? Denis, excuse me, not Denis.
Yeah, no,
Cindy first, then Denis, and then I'll close. So Cindy, parting thoughts? Anything you want to mention we haven't mentioned? Any events coming up you want to mention?
Well, I just want to thank Donna. This was such a great experience. I'm excited to, dig in and learn more and check out your LinkedIn profile. I didn't have a chance to before we met. And I look forward to collaborating because I definitely think we have some clients that might need your services and friends as well.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
I think you'd be a good referral fee finder as well. So there you go.
Yeah, same with
Send-
me. I'm looking forward to maybe test driving your AI tool and some clients that we might find a good fit. I'm also referring to you. And again, it's great to see you. Thanks for being on the show. And hopefully you can come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
So shameless plug for Denis. He did not ask me to do this, but since we talked about health tech earlier, why don't you mention your other company?
Yeah, we have a healthcare digital marketing company, Curis Digital, Curis digital.com. If anybody's in the healthcare space, reach out and we can chat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So another end to an exciting Tech Tuesdays. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Denis, and a special personal
Any
thank you.
closing words, Donna?
Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you, Jeffrey, especially.
You're welcome.
This has been so fun, very informative, and I've enjoyed myself. Thank you.
So, little personal note, one of the things I've gotten to know Donna is she's got a wicked sense of humor. A little of it came out today. She gets all my cultural references, which is unusual, and an amazing guest, an amazing speaker. So I just wanted to thank everybody again. We'll be back next week. Have a great day. Thanks for watching live. Thanks for watching the replay. Thank you to Jason for everything you do at Owwll. Thank you, Steph, always in the background. So have a great day, and we're done.
See you next week.
See you next week.